A report in this morning's Washington Post examines why some rural Democrats who rejected Barack Obama for Hillary Clinton in 2008 are now turning to a socialist senator from Vermont. At a rally for the United Mine Workers of America in West Virginia, there was broad support for Bernie Sanders, even though Sanders has never campaigned there. Quote, at Friday's rally in Morgantown, miner after miner said they basically agreed with the former mayor of Burlington more than they agreed with Clinton. Several were aware that Sanders had walked picket lines, something that resonated as they packed a hotel ballroom to demand that Washington fully fund UMWA pensions. Sanders' presence in the race is keeping many labor unions, like the International Association of Firefighters, neutral. And yesterday, Sanders blasted the breakthrough in U.S. trade negotiations with Asia, saying, quote, Wall Street and other big corporations have won again. It is time for the rest of us to stop letting multinational corporations rig the system to pad their profits at our expense. The senator is back on Capitol Hill today to announce new legislation that would make it easier for workers to join together for better wages, benefits, and working conditions. Wages being a key issue.
And Will, we've been talking about Bernie Sanders on the rise and a growing union threat to Hillary Clinton here.
Yeah, I mean, she won the NEA the other day. She's getting some union support. But when he talks about Wall Street and corporations, he's tapping into a vein that is out there among many Democrats and independents, which is that the game is rigged. And he has owned that vein, as we've said before, since 1962, since he was at the University of Chicago protesting. So I think when Hillary Clinton talks about these issues of corporations and Wall Street, it's a harder sell because she's been in bed with some of them. She gives speeches to Goldman Sachs. She's taken a lot of Wall Street money. Bernie Sanders has lived this fight his entire life, and again, it's that authenticity
thing. And is fighting it today in Washington.
And so it's not just the question of the economic inequality, though. I mean, what Bernie Sanders is running against is literally the power structure in this country, and that's what he's done since he was at the University of Chicago. If you read his emails, which I do every day, it's, you know, why not a revolution? Why would we tinker at the edges when we can go directly at the problem? And it is a vein in the Democratic Party that's been growing really since 2008. It was the Elizabeth Warren wing of the party.
That's right.
It's now very much a Bernie Sanders wing as well.
And Steve Schmidt, following up on what Anita said, if you're running against the establishment in Washington, D.C., that is the Clintons. That is, and not only Washington, but also in New York on Wall Street. Hillary Clinton was the senator from Wall Street for several years here. She said she and Bill Clinton weren't that wealthy because they hang out with a lot of billionaires on a lot of private jets. I'm not knocking them. I'd like to have a lot of private jets too, and a lot of billions. So as a capitalist, I'm totally fine with that. But in the Democratic Party, an us versus them campaign, Hillary Clinton loses to Bernie Sanders every time.
We don't talk about two phenomena going on in American politics enough. And the first one is the connection between Bernie Sanders voters and the Republican voters that are supporting these outsider candidates. Right. Carson, Trump, Fiorina, and that all of them together are screaming at the establishment, whether they be Democrats or Republicans, their belief that none of this is on the level anymore. It's a rigged game, a rigged system where big is screwing small, and the regular guy is taking it every day. And then in the Democratic Party, we have to go back to 1992. We have this moment in history where Bill Clinton makes an unelectable National Democratic Party electable again. And that presidency culminates at some level with its great triumph, moderate Democratic president, Republican Congress, where we move into surpluses in the country. And he says the era of big government is over. We have not covered enough the dramatic shift to the left in the Democratic Party over the last 6-7 years of the Obama presidency. And what you see now playing out is a debate between Clintonism, centrism, and now what you see manifested in the Sanders campaign, whether it's championed by Elizabeth Warren, by Barack Obama. You will now see this contest play out in full over the remaining days of this Democratic primary contest, and this debate will be fascinating to watch how Hillary Clinton defends centrism versus a left of the Democratic Party that's in an ascendancy.